Unveiling the hidden messages from the universe, your sacred guidance awaits. I never expected a single dream to change everything. It was just another night, a curve in the routine of life. I lay there, restless, tangled in sheets, staring at shadows that danced across the walls. And then it came. The dream wrapped around me like a fog, thick and heavy. Colors swirled, sounds murmured, an orchestra playing a melody only I could hear. A voice whispered secrets in vibrant tones, urging me to see beyond the veil. As I awoke, the echoes of that dream still clung to me. I felt it deep in my bones, a strange magnetic pull towards something greater. I stumbled into the morning light, which felt almost sacred, illuminating every dusty corner of my room. I noticed how the sun streamed through the window, golden and warm, illuminating tiny dust particles like snowflakes. Nature spoke in whispers, the leaves rustled as if they were sharing ancient truths. Was it possible the universe was trying to tell me something? I set out for a walk, my heart racing, searching for signs. Birds sang to me with a clarity I had never appreciated before. Each note heightened my senses, sharpening my awareness. The sky, vast and blue, felt like it held answers just beyond reach. I skated between moments of doubt and waves of trust, wishing to unravel the messages hidden in the mundane. My thoughts replayed snippets of the dream as I walked, an urgent melody urging me forward. Were all these signs coincidences? Or was the universe nudging me, reaching out, desperate for me to open my eyes? I found myself glancing at strangers. Did they, too, feel this electric energy in the air? An elderly man paused to look at me, his gaze penetrating, as if seeing straight through my thoughts. "Are you all right?" he asked, genuine concern etched deep in his features. But how could I explain the whirlpool of emotions and questions swirling inside? How could I unveil what I barely understood myself? My heart raced, and my chest tightened. The world felt alive, and I was merely a thread in a greater tapestry. Yet that same thread frayed with uncertainty. I looked down a narrow alley, shadows pooling at the end, as if daring me to explore. What lay there? A mystery waiting to be uncovered, or perhaps a darker truth I wasn't prepared to meet? As I took a step toward the unknown, a chilling thought raced through my mind. What if the universe didn't just want to guide me but also to test me? Each sign, each whisper was a key, but to what? My heart pounded as I breathed in deep, tossing aside doubt like an old coat. But then, a crow cawed loudly, pulling me from my reverie. It perched on a nearby fence, eyes seemingly ablaze with hidden knowledge. I shivered, a girl fighting the weight of her destiny, standing at a crossroads. What did this all mean? What was this dream trying to unveil? As I stood there, pulse quickened, staring into the mystery ahead, a singular thought flickered in the back of my mind: what if I wasn't ready for this journey? Hey, before we continue with this amazing story, I need to give you an important heads up. Many subscribers have reported that YouTube unsubscribed them without warning. Take a quick second to check the red button below to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. I'd hate for you to miss any of the exclusive content coming soon. And while you're there, smash that like button, it really helps me out with the algorithm. Oh, and tell me in the comments, which city are you watching from? I love getting to know every amazing person who's part of this community. Your participation makes all the difference. Let's connect. With the crow watching me, I stood on the brink of decision. The alley loomed ahead, a thin passage pregnant with possibility, while the world around me pulsed with unfiltered energy. Every instinct whispered at me to dive deeper into the unknown, to serve as both apprentice and seeker on this strange but beckoning path. Yet unease coiled tightly around my heart, a serpent reluctant to let go. I took a tentative step forward, propelled not just by curiosity, but by an inexplicable sense of urgency. I felt as if time was morphing, both stretching and constricting around me, leaving me with a singular realization: there was no going back. Each subsequent step echoed with echoes of my dream, beckoning me into the depths of my own psyche. I considered the enigmatic symbols swirling from my subconscious, wondering if this journey could potentially tear down the walls I'd habitually built around myself. As I breached the mouth of the alley, coolness enveloped me, contrasting sharply against the warmth of the day. Dim light flickered, caught in the crevices of the damp brick walls. I paused, inhaling deeply, inhaling not just air, but a confluence of scents, the earthy mustiness of rain-kissed stone, the subtle sweetness of afternoon blooms, and an undertone of something metallic that churned in the air like the promise of a storm. Suddenly, a gust of wind rose up, sending leaves swirling in a chaotic dance. It carried with it soft laughter, reminiscent of a child's carefree joy. I turned, searching the shadows for the source, but found none. My heart raced. Were they ruins of my imagination, taunting me with their fleeting beauty? Or were they a sign that wonder still thrived, even in hidden corners? As I took bold strides further into the shadows, I stumbled upon an old wooden bench, etched with a tapestry of designs worn by time. Upon it sat a weathered book with a tattered cover, its pages inviting me to uncover stories long abandoned. The sight caught my breath as the universe seemed to stir around me, suggesting I was meant to open it. I approached cautiously and sat down. As I opened the book, the musty scent of yellowed pages enveloped me. To my surprise, the words within were written in swirling script, their meaning obscured by layers of symbolism and allegory. Yet, somehow, the cadence of the language resonated within me, forming a bridge from my heart to my mind. I found phrases that bubbled with knowingness, resonating deep within my core. Each stanza danced with connections to my own experiences, weaving a myriad of revelations I had yet to confront. As I read, the world beyond the pages began to fade, replaced by layers of vivid imagery. I glimpsed glimmers that resonated far beyond the setting before me. A great tree, roots woven like veins into the earth, a river, its course undulating with struggles and serenity, mountains, steadfast and silent witnesses to the cycles of life. Each image was alive, breathing stories that seemed to whisper to me their own heartfelt truths. Suddenly, I sensed a shift, the environment contracting into a palpable presence. The energy among me seemed heavy with the weight of expectations. A figure emerged from the shadows, a woman cloaked in layers of deep sapphire fabric, her long hair cascading like waterfalls of darkness. Her expression was kind yet enigmatic, eyes filled with ancient wisdom. "Do you seek answers?" she asked, her voice resonating with an otherworldly cadence. I nodded hesitantly, feeling the depth of my longing juxtaposed with fear. My journey into this mystique was blooming, but so too were layers of doubt. "Every inquiry requires relinquishing control," she continued, her gaze unwavering. "The universe has its own rhythm, it will reveal itself when you surrender to its flow." As her words settled into my being, I realized that answers were not as important as the act of asking. Each question I posed to the cosmos amplified my connection, drawing me closer to a greater understanding of the rhythms that govern not just my life, but the universal dance of existence. Itself, her figure began to drift back into the shadows, and panic briefly gripped me. "Wait. What do I do now?" "Trust the process," she whispered, if only as a breeze before vanishing entirely. I sat there, words swirling in my thoughts, the messages from the universe still reverberating in my mind. How could I trust what I couldn't see? My heart ached with uncertainty, a longing for tangible signs, instant gratification extracted from doubt. Perhaps that was the mystery woven within spiritual exploration. The truly profound answers never provided the comfort of certainty. They only invited deeper inquiries, igniting the light of curiosity within us. Rising slowly from the bench, I cradled the book tightly, but not without leaving it behind for others to discover. Walking back towards the light, the energy swirled around me, challenging my perceptions. What does it mean to trust without knowing? How can I embrace the unknown if every step seems layered with ambiguity and risk? With these reflections navigating through the labyrinth of my thoughts, I stepped into the light, ready to embrace the unfolding of my journey. What signs beckoned next? What further mysteries lay ahead, waiting patiently in the fabric of life? The light beckoned like an ethereal hand, drawing me out of the shadows into the warm embrace of the day. The noise of the city pulsed with a newfound vibrancy, as if the world was a living canvas, splattered with colors and sounds that hummed with possibility. Every step I took resonated with an urgency, as though the universe had orchestrated this moment, guiding me gently forward. As I emerged onto the street, the warmth of sunlight filtered through the trees, creating dappled patterns on the pavement. I felt the energy of the crowd surrounding me, each individual a story, a mystery threading through the collective fabric of existence. In that flash of realization, I sensed the interconnectedness that bound us all, a web spun of shared hearts and dreams. That I wandered aimlessly, but could feel the pull of an invisible thread guiding me to a small market bustling with life. Stalls overflowed with vibrant produce and handmade crafts, the air thick with the heady scent of spices and blooming flowers. An old vendor caught my eye, his weathered face crinkling into a knowing smile as I approached, looking for something special? He asked, eyes twinkling like stars trapped in his deep-set wrinkles. That I shrugged, uncertain of what I sought. Just exploring. Sometimes exploration leads us to unexpected treasures. He gestured to a table adorned with peculiar trinkets. Every object holds a story, and stories often reveal the profound when we least expect it. I scanned the assortment, a tarnished locket, a curious stone, and a small glass orb that captured the light like a captured memory. My fingers brushed against the orb, and a jolt of energy surged through me, as if the universe itself had whispered directly into my soul. "What is this?" I asked, my voice barely a breath above a whisper. The oracle sphere, he replied. It is said to reflect the truths we often overlook. His gaze bore into my own, igniting a flicker of urgency within me. It requires a question, one rooted in your heart. That I was taken aback. What could I possibly ask of an object so enigmatic? Yet the words bubbled up within me, they were desperate to escape. How do I move forward with uncertainty? How do I trust in the unknown? The vendor nodded knowingly, and for a moment, my world expanded beyond the constraints of my personal experience. Hold it close, and let the question simmer, he instructed. Understanding often flows from reflection rather than revelation. With a mix of hesitation and thrill, I purchased the sphere, cradling it as if it were a fragile bird ready to take flight. The moment it fell into my hands, I could feel a warmth radiate through it, connecting me in a profound way to the life pulsating around us. As I wandered farther into the market, I found a quiet fountain at the center, its water dancing in the air like liquid light. The distant sound of laughter mingled with the gentle splashes, and I took a seat on the cold stone edge. I could feel the hum of energy, each droplet alive with purpose. With the oracle sphere nestled in my palms, I began to reflect. What was it about trusting the unknown that sent shivers down my spine? Why did the expanse of uncertainty fill me with both dread and exhilaration? In that moment of contemplation, a ripple scattered across the water, breaking the surface tension. Distorted reflections reached out to me, unfurling like intricate petals, urging me to look deeper. Curious, I leaned closer, examining the imagery unfolding within the water. Brief flashes of my past, present, and nebulous future. My childhood home loomed large, the laughter of family echoing in bright hues. My heart felt light as memories flashed, mingling with the tighter moments of solitude and yearning. Just as quickly, the scene shifted to current dilemmas, the choices that floated ceaselessly in my mind, captive to fear of the unknown, paths laid bare before me, yet untaken. A voice, gentle yet resonant, floated through the air. Every choice holds potential, but growth often demands a willingness to wade into ambiguity. Without it, we remain stagnant. The world around me flickered momentarily, as if mirroring my inner glimpse. The water's surface shimmered, and I felt the warmth of a deeper knowing deep within my core, a reminder that all journeys must include uncertainty, that embracing ambiguity was an integral piece of human experience. As twilight began to cast its golden cloak over the city, I clutched the oracle's sphere tightly, exhilarated by the signs surrounding me. Yet a kernel of doubt remained embedded in my heart. I could sense new questions bubbling just beneath the surface, waiting for their own release. Could it truly be that the key to understanding lay in the uncertainty itself? Would the deeper questions, the ones rooted in every wonder and fear, guide me towards something vast and life-altering? as the last rays of sun dipped below the horizon, I stood with the weight of these reflections pressing gently, all while the world around me began to quiet. What awaited on this continued journey? What other signs would be illuminated as I cultivated the courage to face the unknown ahead? The city settled into the soft embrace of twilight, a quiet serenity replacing the vibrant chaos that had filled the streets only moments before. With the oracle sphere nestled safely in my grasp, I felt an undeniable pull guiding me toward a nearby park, where the whisper of wind danced through the leaves like an ancient melody. As I entered the green haven, the air became imbued with the scent of earth and blooming jasmine. Twinkling fireflies began to emerge, illuminating the dusky space and painting trails of light across the canvas of dusk. I settled onto a bench beneath a great oak tree, its gnarled roots spiraling deep into the ground, anchoring it to the earth while its branches stretched toward the heavens. With each pulse of energy radiating from the sphere, I let my mind drift, contemplating the array of lives intersecting in this very moment. Children laughed and ran through the grass, their carefree spirits dancing in the fading light, while elders tossed breadcrumbs to the gathered pigeons, their movements slow and measured as if savoring each moment. I closed my eyes, taking a deep, grounding breath. The soft rustle of leaves and distant laughter merged into a soothing symphony as I began to ponder further, what other signs awaited me on this unpredictable journey? In the silence that enveloped me, I heard a voice, this time not from outside, but resonant within. In every encounter, every moment, there is an opportunity to reflect and grow. Just ask, and answers will surface. Driven by intrigue, I opened my eyes and turned the oracle's sphere again in my hands. What lies beneath the surface of each fleeting encounter? I whispered, the question as fragile as the dusk. As if responding to my inquiry, the sphere warmed in my palms, pulsating softly. With each heartbeat, a vision began materializing before me, brief vignettes of people flitting in and out of view. A man, cloaked in a tattered coat, sat as he strummed his guitar, filling the air with haunting melodies. Each note spun a story, weaving together the elements of hope and despair. Then it shifted. An elderly woman on a park bench, her face carved with the lines of experience. I could see her eyes glisten as she shared stories with a young girl, the spark of curiosity illuminating their shared laughter. Time folded into itself, and I felt an overwhelming sensation of connection, of shared breath and existence pulsing through those interactions, yet still, as profound as these visuals felt, they left me with a prickle of longing for more. What else am I missing? I murmured, desperately wanting clarity. Just then, a woman approached the bench. A halo of golden curls framed her face, and her presence shimmered with an aura of wisdom. You seek answers, she said, a smile dancing in her eyes. But perhaps it is the questions that truly guide you. She sat beside me, and I sensed a warmth radiating from her being, as if she had stepped from the very fabric of the universe itself. Every encounter you witnessed holds a lesson, yet the threads that weave them together must be unraveled, explored deeply. Why does uncertainty feel so daunting? I asked, my heart laid bare in the fading light, because it requires you to trust not just in the outcomes, but in yourself. The unknown holds not just fear, but potential, a canvas where your choices can manifest into something beautifully unexpected. Her gaze pierced through the shell of my doubts, nudging me toward a depth I had not yet dared to explore. I sat in contemplative silence, allowing her words to seep into the crevices of my soul. What was waiting in the shadows, waiting for me to cherish the ambiguity rather than shun it? What if within that uncertainty dwelled my innate strength? The sky began to shift, casting hues of lavender and peach as the sun bid its final adieu to the day. As I turned to thank her, she was gone, as if she had been but a gentle breeze, a sacred messenger sent to illuminate my path further. With renewed vigor, I closed my eyes once again, allowing the energy of the oracle's sphere to anchor me in this moment. Who were the unseen guides encouraging me to step forward? What awaited in the depths of my own being as I walked the unpredictable path of life? Even as clarity twinkled just beyond my reach, the realm of uncertainty enveloped me, a reminder that every question bore the seed of discovery. What else would unfold if I continued to cultivate trust in both the universe and myself? Would I find a greater meaning stitched within the uncertainty that would transform my journey? as the first stars began to emerge in the vast sky overhead, I felt the thrilling weight of the unknown weighing down upon me, each shimmer an invitation into the mystery that awaited, just beyond the horizon. The cool night air wrapped around me like a comforting shawl, and the burgeoning stars overhead whispered stories of distant worlds and secrets yet to be revealed. The oracle sphere pulsed gently in my grip, its warmth a reminder of the incredible journey that lay ahead, a path illuminated by questions rather than answers. As I sat with my thoughts, the sounds of the park layered themselves into my consciousness, a symphony of rustling leaves, murmurs of wind, and distant laughter that felt woven into the fabric of the universe. I sensed that the park was not merely a place, but a threshold, a junction where each person carried threads of narratives infinitely complex and intertwined. Suddenly, a flicker of movement caught my attention. A figure appeared from behind the oak tree, a young boy, no more than 8 or 9, his hands clasped around a worn leather book. He seemed to radiate a lightness of spirit that melted away some of my adult burdens. He approached, wide-eyed and brimming with energy. "What are you holding?" I asked, my curiosity piqued. "This is my storybook," he said, his smile brightening the dimming light. "It's full of adventures. I write down everything that happens to me." "Everything?" I echoed, fascinated. He nodded enthusiastically. "Every moment is an adventure if you see it right. From losing a tooth to the time my cat fell into a fish pond. You should write yours, too." His innocent wisdom resonated deep within me. In the chaos of adulthood, I had forgotten the sheer joy of recording life's small wonders. A gentle longing unfurled within the wish to cherish moments instead of merely cataloging events. "What do you want to find in your book?" I asked, intrigued. "That I want to discover magic in the ordinary," he replied, eyes sparkling. "There's always something if you look close enough." With that, he turned on his heel and bounded away, absorbed in his world of imagination. The encounter sparked a revelation. What if I allowed myself to see life through a childlike lens, stripping the layers of pretense and expectation? What stories were laid before me, mundane yet rich, waiting for my attention? As the boy's laughter faded into the distance, I realized that answers would not necessarily come in grand forms but often in the simplest interactions. I felt a new question emerge within me: how many hidden messages lay in the fabric of everyday encounters? In every mundane moment, might I discover fragments of divinity? With fresh determination, I pinned my gaze on the oracle's sphere once more. "Share with me what awaits in the ordinary," I implored quietly, feeling the surface ripple beneath my fingers. Suddenly, the world around me seemed to shimmer, and the air thickened. Images danced before my closed eyelids, visions of a fleeting smile shared with a stranger, the warmth of hands meeting during a fleeting touch, the laughter of friends mingling in celebration. Each image filled with a resonance that echoed endlessly, reminding me that life itself was a collection of fleeting, yet profound experiences. Then, as if pulled by a magnetic force, I was drawn back to the park. I opened my eyes, and the landscape seemed to have transformed. Fireflies glimmered brighter than before, reflecting the stars above. The gathering groups had dwindled, leaving a tranquil void that invited introspection. A soft rustle caught my attention, and I turned to see the elderly woman from earlier reappearing, her demeanor calm yet inquisitive. "Have you begun writing your story?" she asked, a knowing smile gracing her features. Realization washed over me. This park, these moments, were not merely experiences to pass through, they were invitations to deepen my understanding of what it meant to connect, learn, and grow. "No, but I've decided I will," I replied resolutely. "Good," she nodded, her expression one of approval. "You'll find that life dances between every moment. Each is a brushstroke in the masterpiece you're creating. Is it possible to overlook the artistry in the chaos?" I asked, seeking wisdom from her years of experience. "Only if you cease to look," she murmured, her voice a soft melody against the stillness. "Remember that every thread woven into your narrative carries a lesson. The significance may remain hidden until the moment is ripe for revelation." A surge of gratitude bubbled within me, a connection forming across the generations, one that would stay with me longer than moments. As she faded once more into the shadows, I was left pondering the importance of stories, both those we tell ourselves and those intertwined with others. What treasures lay enveloped in the fabric of our lives, hidden beneath the rush of everyday demands? Could I venture forward with the intent of unveiling these hidden narratives? As the moon rose higher, casting a gentle glow on the park, I felt a spark of excitement for the journey ahead. The uncertainty was still there, a comforting blanket rather than a shackle, and within it lay the potential for growth and discovery. With the oracle sphere glowing steadily beside me, I began to reflect once more. How will I weave together the threads of my journey, and what miracles await in the tapestry of connection and discovery? Each moment swirled in rippling possibilities, a myriad of encounters tangled within my story, begging to be unveiled. I took a deep breath, feeling the cool night air cleanse my lungs, dispelling lingering doubts as though wrapped in an embrace of clarity. It felt as though the universe itself was responding to my inquiry, urging me to pay attention. With each inhalation, I began drifting deeper into my surroundings, allowing the world to seep into my bones and remind me of its essence. The park, my sanctuary, began to reveal its secrets anew. Each rustling leaf seemed to whisper my name, and I found myself wandering along a path lined with shadows intermingled with light. Uncertainty was no longer a weight but a buoy, keeping me afloat amidst an ocean of experiences. As I ambled, I caught sight of a small group gathered around an old fountain, the water dancing in the silvery moonlight. The splashing sound drew me nearer, and I soon noticed an artist seated nearby, sketching furiously. He was lost in his own world, yet light spilled from his canvas, a kaleidoscope of emotions spilling over onto paper. I could see the faces of the gathering crowd, each one brimming with diverse stories and perspectives. Compelled by an instinct I couldn't quite name, I approached the artist. "What inspires you to capture this moment?" I asked, gesturing to his work. He paused only momentarily, looking up with eyes that sparkled with creativity. "Every face hides a universe," he replied. "It's my job to uncover and share those worlds, even if they're just brief glimpses." His words struck a chord within me. It was a reminder of the interconnectedness we shared, an echo of the boy's perspective on adventures lying beneath the surface. "Do you ever leave out parts? Or does every story matter?" I pressed further, craving deeper insight. You see, he began with a gentle smile, "every story matters, but not every story is mine to tell. I can only sketch what I can feel. It's a conversation between my heart and theirs, and the canvas captures it in a timeless way." I pondered this interaction, the weight of his wisdom resting upon my shoulders. It was a profound truth: our stories are intertwined, yet distinct, and each has its place. Could it be that by embracing both my narrative and those of others, I was populating a much larger tapestry than I had ever imagined? As the artist returned to his work, my thoughts wandered back to the theme of hidden messages. The stillness of the park turned electric, and I wondered how many stories I had missed simply because I was too focused on my own. What fragments of magic lay tucked beneath ordinary exchanges, waiting to be recognized? In my trance of contemplation, I noticed a flicker of movement from the corner of my eye, a small, unassuming dog trotting along with a bright red ball in its mouth. It darted toward me, pausing as it reached my feet, tail wagging eagerly. The exuberance of this encounter felt vibrant and alive, urging me to engage. I bent down, and the dog dropped its ball with an expectant gaze. Almost instinctively, I tossed it a few paces away, and in a heartbeat, it was off, the pure joy of the chase etched across its furry face. Laughter bubbled from my lips as I delighted in this simple exchange, each throw echoing a connection beyond words. In that moment, I realized, perhaps joy was a message in itself, a reminder to embrace spontaneity and live with a certain childlike wonder. Could simple acts of play yield deeper insights about the world around me? The dog, oblivious to my introspection, chased after the ball without hesitation, trusting in its instincts, reveling in its freedom. What if I could embody that same trust? As the dog trotted back, ball in mouth, I contemplated one question that loomed large in my mind: what treasures lay within this fabric of existence, waiting for us to recognize them? Perhaps each moment offered a story, each encounter a lesson, leading to a deeper understanding of the sacred guidance woven into our everyday lives. I looked at the oracle sphere, its gentle glow pulsing in rhythm with my heartbeat, a reflection of everything I'd witnessed. "Guide me," I whispered once more, longing for the wisdom that resonated beyond the tangible world. As the night deepened, I left the park, my heart buoyant with possibility. What more might I uncover in the threads of connection, woven into the lives of those I meet? What revelations awaited me as I ventured forward, attuned to the rhythm of the universe and its hidden messages? Curiosity sparked in my soul, and as I walked away, I felt the weight of uncharted stories around me. How many more journeys lay ahead, urging me to discover the unseen? Could I hold on to this newfound lens through which to view the world, and allow it to guide me deeper into the intricate dance of narratives yet unfinished? As dawn approached, I felt the gentle caress of a soft breeze sweeping across the park. The shift in the air seemed to resonate with my own metamorphosis, a fleeting reminder that change is often both subtle and profound. The shadows of the night slowly melted away, revealing a vibrant palette of colors within the trees, grasses, and the tranquil water of the fountain. I took a moment to step back, and as the world began to awaken, I felt invited to explore the signals that fluttered around me like butterflies drawn to the morning light. The dog, still frolicking with its ball, danced through the dew-kissed grass, exuberantly embodying the essence of a new day. There was a collective sense of renewal, a silent dialogue between nature and the awakening human spirit. It felt as though the park was unveiling its layered beauty, beckoning me to delve deeper into its mysteries. With renewed curiosity, I ventured further down the path, allowing myself to be drawn to whatever caught my eye. My footsteps led me to a grove of ancient oak trees, their gnarled branches sprawling wide as if absorbing the very essence of the sky. Beneath their sturdy canopies, I encountered a woman seated cross-legged on a blanket, her presence radiating calmness. Her eyes were closed, and she seemed to be in deep meditation, completely in tune with the symphony of nature around her. Intrigued, I approached quietly, uncertain if I should interrupt her communion with the universe. Yet something compelled me to ask, "What brings you to this sacred space?" She opened her eyes, a serene smile illuminating her face. "I come here to listen and to remember that I am part of something much larger," she replied. Her voice was soothing, each word wrapped in layers of wisdom like an affectionate embrace. Sometimes, our lives feel fragmented, but moments like this remind us to reconnect. The simplicity of her response resonated, drawing parallels with my journey thus far, the understanding that we all belong to a tapestry that is constantly being woven. "Have you found any messages here today?" I inquired, eager to unravel her insights. She chuckled softly, "Every moment holds pearls of wisdom if you're willing to seek them. Just yesterday, I saw a group of children playing nearby. Their laughter was a reminder that joy is ever present, even in turbulent times. If only we could embody their trust and live a fearless leap into the unknown." Her reflection invited me to delve deeper. Just then, a soft breeze rustled the leaves overhead, echoing her sentiments. I closed my eyes and breathed in, allowing the meditative quality of the moment to settle in. What would it mean to embrace this playful spirit every day? To approach life like those children, open, curious, and unafraid of the fall. "Have you ever felt a sign in the world around you?" I asked, hopeful she'd share more of her discernments. Her expression shifted, deepened, and she replied, "Every time the wind whispers or the sun kisses the water's surface, it's as if nature holds conversations with us. Listen closely, and you might just hear the answers you are seeking. But remember, the messages sometimes come wrapped in paradoxes." Intrigued by her mystical outlook, I reflected on the artist's earlier words about different narratives converging. The idea that within every interaction lies a layer of complexity, a truth, and a myriad of diversions induced a sense of wonder. What stories lay stashed beneath the surface, waiting to be uncovered through a mindful encounter? "Sometimes, it's in silence that the most profound truths arise," she continued, her tone shifting to an almost reverent cadence. "As you cultivate your awareness, let go of the need to know everything. The universe often provides clarity when we surrender to its rhythm." Her words resonated deeply within me. I began to envision the complexity of life as an intricate dance. Each encounter, a step; each pause, an exhale. I had been primarily focused on seeking answers, racing toward comprehension, but perhaps the beauty lay not in the accumulation of knowledge but in the uncharted explorations themselves. As I prepared to take my leave, I felt a surge of gratitude for the exchange. I still had countless questions swirling within me, an ongoing tapestry of wonder and yearning echoing in my heart. The woman's presence reminded me of the continual quest for understanding and adventure that is both personal and shared. I turned back to her one last time. How do you navigate the uncertainty of not knowing? Ah, she said, eyes glistening like the morning dew upon the grass, by embracing the journey, not the destination. Trust that each moment brings you closer to your truth, and never shy away from asking the universe to reveal itself. With that, I walked away invigorated by the possibilities, my mind flooded with layers of questions. What wisdom was hidden in the mundane rhythms of life? What paradoxes might elucidate the most important truths of my journey? And how could I remain open to recognizing the signs that beckon from beyond the ordinary? As I strolled back through the park, a message twined itself into my thoughts like a vine seeking sustenance, anchored in the sacredness of uncertainty. How might embracing the unknown unveil the deeper narratives woven beneath the surface of existence? As the sun continued its ascent, painting the sky with hues of orange and pink, my spirit felt buoyant. I wandered along a narrower path, flanked by blooming wildflowers, their vibrant colors a vivid reminder of life's unyielding beauty. Each step seemed to sync with the whisper of the breeze, composing an unspoken dialogue between my heart and the universe. Lost in thought, I spotted a small stone bench nestled beneath a flowering cherry tree, its branches a cascade of blush petals, fluttering gently like confetti in a soft celebration. Drawn to the bench, I settled myself beneath its shade, where the earth felt alive beneath me, humming with untold stories. I closed my eyes, allowing the sounds a distant bird call, a child's laughter, the gentle rustle of leaves weave together, creating a serene symphony. It was in this moment of stillness that I felt it, a subtle tug at the edges of my awareness. An urge to peel back the layers of the day, igniting a fire of curiosity within me. What if the signs were not just messages but invitations beckoning me to participate in a grander conversation? This thought sparked a yearning to seek out the signs hidden amidst the ordinary. As I opened my eyes, a solitary feather drifted down from the cherry tree, landing softly in my lap. It was a splendid shade of iridescent blue, shimmering as the sunlight kissed its surface. I picked it up, turning it over in my hands, feeling a rush of connection to the universe, an intimate reminder that there is beauty in the unexpected. What did this feather symbolize? Was it a sign of freedom, of lightness, or perhaps a call to trust the flight of my own spirit? Lost in contemplation, my attention was drawn to a jovial couple nearby engaged in a playful discussion about life's idiosyncrasies. Their easy laughter filled the air, reverberating with an infectious energy. One spoke animatedly about a recent mishap, how a simple wrong turn had led them to discover a hidden cafe bursting with the scent of fresh pastries and warm coffee. Sometimes, she said, it's the unexpected detours that lead us to the sweetest surprises. Their light-hearted banter and vibrant connection stirred something within me. Here were two souls intertwining through life's uncertainties, finding joy in what was unplanned. It dawned on me that each encounter, like the couple's serendipitous discovery, was a reminder to remain open to chance, to opportunities, to the beauty of divergence. With this reflection, I rose from the bench, emboldened to continue my exploration of the park not merely as a passive observer, but as an active participant in the narrative surrounding me. I wandered further, weaving through the vibrant tapestry of outdoor creations, the shadows playing upon the grass beneath my feet, the sun highlighting every petal and leaf in resplendent glory. As I ventured deeper, a flicker of color caught my attention, a small artist setting up an easel near the fountain's edge. The artist meticulously blended oils on a palette, ultimately transferring a reflection of the scene before him onto canvas. I watched as he danced his brush across the canvas, layering colors in whimsical strokes. I felt drawn to him, as if his creativity was yet another sign. Approaching cautiously, I asked, "What compels you to paint in this moment?" He turned from his work and smiled, his passion palpable. "Every stroke is a conversation with the universe," he replied, gesturing towards the vibrant reflections swimming in the water's surface. "This fountain, these trees, they all evoke emotions, stories untold. I seek to capture that essence, every color, every nuance. His words ignited a spark, the notion that life itself could be an artwork, a canvas begging for interpretation. I marveled at the idea that within our own lives, we each possess the brush, a unique perspective that can shape our reality in profound ways. What do you hope to discover through your painting? I inquired, intrigued. He smiled knowingly, the beauty of each layer. Sometimes, in the process, I stumble upon answers to questions I never even knew I had. The chaos of colors and textures leads me down paths I never anticipated, reminding me of the importance of embracing uncertainty in creation. I left him with a wave, emboldened by his sense of purpose. As I walked away, a new inquiry dawned upon me: what paths have I not explored in my own life? In what ways have I confined myself to a single narrative, choosing certainty over the vibrant possibilities offering themselves? As the sun began to arch toward its zenith, I felt the radiant warmth blanket me, stirring a resolute desire to become an active seeker in my journey. Every unexpected turn, every feather that drifted to my side, every child's laughter, all breadcrumbs guiding me to the inimitable experiences of my existence. Yet beneath the surface of this newfound enthusiasm, questions loomed. What fears held me back from embracing the unknown? How could I intertwine the exploration of my spirit with the unfolding stories around me? In this sacred space of inquiry and reflection, I took a moment to breathe deeply, reminding myself that the journey is just as vital as the destination. What would life reveal if I surrendered fully to the unfolding of my own tapestry, a creation still in progress? With each footfall, the path beneath me pulsed with a rhythm that felt both familiar and foreign, a paradoxical dance of comfort and uncertainty. I drifted further into the park, surrendering to the allure of the unknown, when a sudden breeze playfully teased the fabric of my shirt. I paused, feeling an invisible thread draw me toward a cluster of towering oaks that formed a leafy archway, a natural sanctuary beckoning me in. As I entered this shaded alcove, the air shifted, whispers of the ancient trees spoke in melodies of wisdom, intertwining with my thoughts. Here, the mundane fell away, leaving only the purity of presence. The sunlight filtered through the canopy, casting a mosaic of shadows that resonated with the stories the trees held within their gnarled bark. It occurred to me that these trees, having stood the test of time, were silent witnesses to the unfolding of lives around them. What secrets lay embedded in their roots? What lessons had they gleaned from the cycles of existence? I settled against one of the sturdier trunks, closing my eyes once more, allowing the symphony of nature to wash over me. The wind rustled the leaves, beckoning me to listen more intently. Immersed in this sanctuary, I began to envision the branches as avenues of possibility, each limb a different direction my life could take. Suddenly, a rustle nearby caught my attention. Opening my eyes, I saw a curious fox peering through the underbrush, its amber eyes glinting with an intelligence that felt almost otherworldly. It stood there, momentarily frozen, as if contemplating my presence. I found myself captivated by this creature, sensing an ancient intuition emanating from its gaze. In that instant, I understood, the fox symbolized adaptability and instinct, traits I needed to embrace in pursuit of my own journey. The fox, perhaps sensing my introspection, darted away, drawing me into a spontaneous pursuit. Instinctively, I followed, navigating through the foliage as if guided by an unseen hand. As I raced forward, I became acutely aware of my surroundings, the earthy scent of damp soil, the radiant greens of leaves shimmering in the dappled light, the cadence of my heartbeat synchronizing with the rhythm of life around me. The chase led me out of the grove and toward a serene pond, its surface mirroring the azure sky. Drenched in shadows and light, it was an inviting tableau that beckoned me to stop and reflect. I crouched at the water's edge, mesmerized by the ripples dancing outward from my touch. My reflection rippled as well, the image shifting in a whimsical echo of my current state, ever changing, transient, yet profoundly connected to everything that surrounded me. In that moment of stillness, an epiphany washed over me. The quest for understanding, for purpose, is as fluid as the water before me. We are but ripples in the vast sea of existence, our contributions creating motion that might resonate in ways we may never fully grasp. This realization was at once liberating and humbling. How often do we seek finality in our paths when the truth lies within the exploration itself? As I leaned back, absorbing the beauty of the pond and its surrounding life, I noticed a small turtle observing me from a mossy stone. Its presence drew me into another layer of reflection of patience and resilience. The turtle carried its home on its back, a reminder that sanctuary does not only lie in external constructs but also within our own spirit. My thoughts spun wildly, weaving connections between the fox, the pond, and the turtle. Each symbol resonated a vital message about my spiritual journey, the importance of embracing adaptability, celebrating the fluidity of existence, and understanding that our foundation is rooted deeply within ourselves. Yet still, questions churned beneath these revelations. How can I cultivate adaptability in my life when uncertainty feels daunting? What practices can I embrace to nurture the sanctuary within? In this rich tapestry of signs and messages, I felt the weight of each question settle in my heart, heavy yet beautifully compelling. As I rose from the water's edge and took a deep breath, I knew my exploration was far from complete. The universe had woven these encounters into my experience for a reason, calling me to uncover more. As I stepped back onto the path, a sense of quiet resolve enveloped me. What mysteries awaited as I peeled back the layers of this journey? What profound insights waited to be discovered, illuminating my path in the dance of existence? Each step forward felt like an invitation, a sacred embrace of curiosity inviting me to find answers nestled within the very heart of uncertainty. As I continued my stroll through the park, the symphony of life surrounded me like a sacred melody. Each note, each sound, felt interwoven with my heartbeat, urging me to dive deeper into the essence of existence. The sun climbed higher in the sky, filling the world with warmth and illuminating the small wonders that had, until now, gone unnoticed. I peered closely at the vibrant green leaves, swaying gently in the wind, and the dappled shadows they cast. It was as though the universe was whispering, urging me to open my heart to the messages that lay within every moment. I approached a small clearing, where a group of children gathered, pouring their energy into a game of tag. Their laughter rang out like bells, pure and free, echoing the very spirit of life itself. I paused to watch, captivated by their uninhibited joy. What lesson was waiting for me in this moment? Suddenly, a little girl caught my eye. She paused in her chase, bending down to collect a handful of wildflowers. She twirled around, her hair dancing in the sunlight as she presented her treasure to me with a beaming smile, as if it was the most precious gift in the world. "Would you like some?" she asked, her innocence shining brightly against the chaos of adulthood surrounding us. I took the flowers, marveling at their vibrant colors, and in that exchange, I felt a rush of unfiltered joy, a reminder that beauty lives all around us, in both the grand and trivial. "Thank you," I smiled, kneeling to her level. "These are beautiful. What do you call them?" "Magic flowers," she exclaimed, her joy contagious. "They make you happy when you hold them." I grinned, the weight of my journey lifting for just a moment, the burdens of doubt dissolving under the warmth of simplicity. In that instant, it dawned on me: most profound truths are often delivered in the gentlest of whispers. It was not in the searching that I needed to find clarity, but in the embracing of life's small miracles. I told the girl that her magic flowers had transformed my day, and she laughed, as if in sharing, she understood the power of connection. As the children resumed their game, I felt liberated, as if the innocence of youth was beckoning me to join in. There was a certain freedom in laughter, and in play, where the complexities of existence could fade into the background. I closed my eyes, imagining myself leaping into the game, running without the weight of past or future, feeling the wind against my skin, the joy sparking like fireflies in the dusk. Rejuvenated by this moment, I carried the magic flowers with me, feeling their vibrant energy flow through me with each step. Continuing my walk, I stumbled upon a tranquil pond once more. I stopped to gaze into its depths, finding my reflection staring back at me, no longer just the seeker, but a part of this intricate dance of life. I let the aura of the water soothe me, warming me from within. Suddenly, a thought struck me with clarity: what had begun as a quest for understanding had transformed into a journey of surrender. In my pursuit of answers, I had forgotten that the quest itself was simply a series of moments, each beckoning for presence, each pulse leading me deeper into grace. I raised my hands, the wildflowers cradled in my palms, letting them bask in the sunlight. Show me, I whispered to the universe, for every question, I will embrace the unfolding path. As I released the flowers into the water, creating ripples in the pond, I felt the weight of unknowing dissolve into the flow of life. In that release, I understood that trust was not merely an act of faith, but an active engagement with the unpredictable. There was beauty in uncertainty, like the way the river bends and shifts course, forever transforming yet always flowing. With newfound clarity, I walked back towards the path leading out of the park, my heart brimming with gratitude. Life was not a destination set to a linear path, but a winding road of encounters and connections, opportunities to grow, share, and be. Each person I met, every child I watched, every flower that bloomed, held a piece of the universe's unfolding story, a reminder that we are all intricately woven together. As I meandered through the park once more, I felt a serene sense of alignment. Nothing needed to be fixed, everything simply needed to be experienced as it was. A warm breeze wrapped around me, a gentle embrace from the universe itself, whispering its blessings into my soul. I stepped back onto the bustling street, each passerby a tapestry of life in motion. I no longer sought certainty in the chaos, instead, I chose to welcome the unknown, embracing the magical imperfections of my journey. Those ripples had not just reached the farthest corners of the pond, they had borne witness to my transformation as I had surrendered to the dance of existence. In that moment, I understood, life is a constant journey of unveiling, an awakening to the sacredness hidden beneath the surface. Every encounter invites light, every question leads to exploration, and every moment offers a gift just waiting to be recognized. And so, I walked forward, open-hearted and awake, ready to dance with every unknown, craving only the whispers of magic that awaited in the mundane. As I moved through the world that day, I whispered to the universe in quiet affirmation, knowing that wherever I traveled next, the answers would navigate themselves in the essence of the questions. After all, sometimes to find the truth, you must simply step into the wonders of your own unfolding and trust that the journey itself will reveal life's greatest mysteries.